มาณเนี้ยพี่กำลังถ่ายไปสัก4 นาทีพี่ครับ
Good morning to all our viewers. We would like to welcome you this morning to the live broadcast on Facebook, YouTube, on the Pindapata of the Alms Ram Walk of Ajahn Suchart, Abhijato, and the Sangha of Wat Yansangwararam in Chonburi. Our live broadcast this morning is being done in English, and we hope that some of our audiences will find this information useful. And it is a beautiful morning here in Na Jom Tien. We're currently standing in front of Soi called Na Jom Tien 30, which is where the Alms Ram Walk will start. Na Jom Tien is a municipality. It is about 15 minutes south of Pattaya, and we're just standing right on the Sukhumvit Highway, heading towards Sattahip. The Google coordinates for this very location, as well as the Alms route map and times, are all available on the English website alprasuchat.com.
วันนี้คนเยอะนะ
And as you can see, there are many lay Buddhists here gathering, waiting in anticipation to make offerings and to start their days with making merit. Momentarily, the Wat Yan bus will be arriving as we await here for Ajahn Suchart and the monks. And good morning to everyone again. We are now broadcasting live the Pindapata, which is the Alms Ram Walk of Ajahn Suchart, Abhijato, and the Sangha of Wat Yansangwararam in Chonburi. And Ajahn and the monks will be arriving momentarily. We can see the bus approaching to the starting location for giving alms. The bus has just arrived. Ajahn and the monks are disembarking. The alms bowl is prepared, and the walk is going to start immediately. And the first alms giving for today has just started. The monks leave the temple at sunrise when the sky starts to break dawn, and that time can vary throughout the year. But generally here in Banampur, the starting time ranges from 5:30 to 6 a.m. For those of you who plan to come, you can check these times. The Pindapata walk will be about 1.4 kilometer, and on a regular day, it can take about 40 to 50 minutes. But on weekends or special religious holidays, this can take up to 1.5 to 2 hours. In the past New Year holiday recently, there were over 1,000 people lined up on this small beach road to offer alms. Sorry. It is a Sunday, so there are quite a number of people who are gathered here with their families to offer alms today. And you can see that people primarily put rice and food to go with the rice. Many times along with that, they will also give desserts, drinks, and flowers. They may offer other things which they feel which would be useful to support the monks. Good morning to everyone again. For those of you who are joining us right now, we are broadcasting live the Pindapata, which is the alms round walk of Ajahn Suchart, Abhijato, and the monks from Wat Yansangwararam in Chonburi. The Pindapata is starting on this main Sukhumvit highway, and it will turn into Soi Najom Tien 30. The walk will be about 1.4 kilometer and generally will take about 40 to 50 minutes. And it is a beautiful morning here in Najom Tien as the alms proceeding is moving towards Soi Najom Tien 30. As many lay people gather to make their offerings this morning. Walking near the monks or alongside the monks are lay volunteers who help to carry the alms that are offered. The amount of alms can be quite considerable, so volunteers assist in taking the offerings from the alms bowl and put them into the bus to return to the temple. You can see that some volunteers are dressed in white and some are in plain clothes. Often the ones wearing white are taking the 8 precepts and staying in retreat at the temple to practice Dhamma. The Pindapata walk is about to turn left into Soi Na Jom Tien, which will be a small beach road. And Tanajan has just made a left and turned into Soi Na Jom Tien 30. The lay people who come to offer alms here comes from all walk of life. Many are local, while some are from Bangkok, other provinces around the country, as well as from overseas. The monks are walking with mindfulness. They are calm and composed. They walk in single file, and the order of the walk is based on the number of vasas or the length of ordination. And as you can already see, in the line formation, Tanajan is leading all the monks. And today there are about 15 monks from Wat Yan in this alms round walk. Wat Yansangwararam, Wat Yan for short, as many of you may already know, is where Tanajan Suchart currently resides. It is about 15 minutes by car from here. It is a Buddhist monastery under the royal patronage of the late King Rama IX, situated in the Banglamung district of Chonburi province. The temple covers the area of about 58 hectares, and it was Somdet Phra Yansangwararam, who was the 19th Supreme Patriarch of the Thai Sangha, who initiated and oversaw the construction of the monastery. It was his goal to have Wat Yan become a Vipassana training center close to Bangkok and to become the Buddhist monastery for the reign of the late King Rama IX. Thus, great effort and care were devoted to the construction to make sure that the monastery was magnificent, elegant, and suiting to the grandeur of the Thai monarchy. Tanajan Suchart currently resides in Wat Yan and has been leading this Pindapata walk for over 30 years. Tanajan Suchart was born in 1947, educated in the English-speaking 7 Days Adventist School in Bangkok, which is now called the Ekamai International School. He went on to study in the United States and obtained a bachelor's degree in civil engineering from California State University, Fresno. In 1975, at the age of 27, he ordained at Wat Bawar Niwet. His preceptor was the late Supreme Patriarch, Somdet Phra Yansangwararam. Within 6 weeks of ordination, Tanajan Suchart left Wat Bawar Niwet and went to Wat Pa Ban Tat, where he stayed and studied with Tanajan Mahabua Yanasampanno for 9 years. In 1984, Tanajan returned to Pattaya, and subsequently he arrived at Wat Yan and has been there since that time. For more information, Tanajan Suchart's autobiography in English called My Way is available for download from theprasuchart.com. There is a mutual and beneficial relationship which exists between the Sangha and the lay communities. By collecting the alms, the monk make it possible for the lay people to make merit for themselves. This act of giving and sharing is called dana, and it is an important virtue. From one of Tanajan's books called Inspiring Dhamma, Tanajan taught about the act of giving dana as follows. Making punya, merit, and dana, giving, is a way of letting go of your attachment to money and possessions. As you keep making merit and giving, happiness will arise in your heart from having let go of your money and possessions. You will see that there is another kind of happiness, one that comes from giving, not from gaining. This kind of happiness is more profound than happiness you get from any gain. The lay community helps provide the four requisites to support the monks. The four requisites are food, shelter, medicine, and clothing. Offering alms is considered to be providing the food requisite. With support of food, monks are able to sustain their livelihood. They can study and practice Dhamma. In return, monks teach and give guidance to lay people about the Buddha's teachings and practices, so lay people can have the right thinking and right livelihood in order to be happy and be free from suffering. The Buddha regarded Pindapata to be an essential, an important, and a significant duty for the monks. The Buddha had 5 routines which he performed daily. 4 of them involved teaching Dhamma to different groups. The 5th one involved him going on alms round every morning. Instruction about Pindapata are given to all bhikkhus in every ordination. And Pindapata is something that the Buddha kept doing until his last day, which is the day of his paranibbana. An excerpt from the book Patipata, which is the Venerable Ajahn Path of Practice, written by Ajahn Mahabhuayana Sampanno, translated by Ajahn Panyavato, describes Pindapata as follows. The regular routine of Pindapata is a duty which gives peace and happiness of heart to those who practice it. This means, firstly, that when one is walking in these places where there are houses and where people live together, and also when one is going to and coming from such places, one is striving for one's own development with oneself all the time, which is the same sort of thing as walking Jangama at the place where one is staying. Secondly, it is a change of body posture and activity for the time when one is going Pindapata. Thirdly, for those who are in the process of developing wisdom all the time, while walking on Pindapata, they may at times see or hear various things that are passing by and which enter and stimulate the door of their senses. These are things which can promote wisdom, by which they can take hold of and often gain value from it. Fourthly, to overcome laziness, which is an inherent characteristic of human beings who only like to get results but are lazy about doing those causal actions without which the results will not come. Fifthly, to overcome conceit, which makes one believe that one is a high and important person whose family is long established in the upper class, wealthy and opulent in all ways. So one dislikes the way of Pindapata, which virtually turns one into a beggar. To summarize, Pindapata gives peace and happiness to the hearts. It is a change of bodily posture. It promotes wisdom and overcomes laziness and conceit. The Pindapata walk is just about a third way through, and approaching this bridge, you can have a chance to see what the Banampur village is like. There is a small channel of water leading to the beach and the sea, which is a part of the Gulf of Thailand. And this is just a quiet seaside village. beautiful and serene. People come out of their houses. In this fishing village, people own small local shops, restaurants, and further down the street there is a fresh market. And those who come from elsewhere will stop and park their cars along the street and give alms. With regards to the proper etiquette and the tradition of giving alms, one should offer alms in the most polite and courteous manner possible. Because the monks are walking in bare feet, lay people giving alms should also be in bare feet. They can stand on equal or lower level to the monks, but should not be standing on pavement or steps higher than the monks. Offerings should be made with humility, politeness, and of utmost respect and reverence. Often we see people raise their offerings to their foreheads and make a determination that the merit they gain from giving will help bring about material or immaterial gain, whether it's wealth, health, or progress on the path to awakening. After giving the offering, people will often dedicate the merit from the act of giving towards a deceased relative or friend, with the hope that the deceased can rejoice in the act of giving and thereby gain merit themselves. We are seeing quite a number of people doing this morning. Ajahn Suchart has taught the Bunya Giriya Vatu 10, which is basically the 10 ways in which one can make merit. With almsgiving, one can gain 2 out of the Bunya Giriya Vatu 10, which is offering dana, which is giving, and the other merit is offering dana in such a way that is polite, humble, and revering. In terms of the food that the monks collect, Ajahn explained how monks should contemplate on what has been offered to them. Eat to live and not live to eat is an excerpt translated from Ajahn Suchart's Thai publication called Sit Mi Kru, and it reads as follows. A monk cannot choose his food. It all depends on what the lay people offer. If a monk happens to be in a scarce area where people don't have much to offer, the food will unlikely be to his liking. But he has to train himself to stomach it. He has to think that all the ingested food will end up in the stomach anyway, so he might as well mix them all in an alms bowl now. He should put all the different kinds of food he gets into the bowl and mix them all together, whether they're savory, sweets, fruits, desserts, curries, and soups. Just mix them well together, just like you would to feed dogs. It will be full of flavors, sweet and savory. If you manage to eat your meals in such a way, your mind will not be preoccupied with food. Keep in mind that food is just food, no matter how refined or unrefined it may be. It all serves the same purpose, that is, to sustain the body by putting away our hunger and keeping us from sickness. It gives us strength and energy to keep up with our meditation practice, and this is more than enough. Currently at Wat Yan, there's a total of about 90 monks, and within that total, there are 8 foreign monks practicing under the guidance of Ajahn Suchart. Their vasas range from 15 years to a newly ordained monk just about a month ago. There are 3 Americans, 1 Romanian, 1 British, 1 Australian, and 2 Singaporeans. Prior to being ordained, many of them had careers in different industries. For example, they were in high-tech industry in the Silicon Valley, working in companies such as Google and Facebook, while others were from accounting, engineering, or the military backgrounds. Foreigners aspiring to be monks have to become an 8-precept trainee for a year to see if they can fit in the Sangha and accept the monastic discipline and routine. Once ordained, they're expected to practice in the temple for the first 5 years to tame and discipline their mind. Ajahn expects monks training under him to strive with their meditation, be independent, self-motivated, respectful, and contribute to the monastic daily chore, just as in the forest tradition. In general, the daily routines for the monks who stay on the Chion mountain practicing Dhamma are as follows. At 3:45 a.m., it is wake up and wash up time. At 4 a.m., it is a 1-hour walk from the Sala from Chion mountain to the Sala in Wat Yan. At 6 a.m., there's morning's alms round, followed by eating in the Sala, cleaning the Sala, and alms bowl. At 10 a.m., a pickup vehicle takes the monks back to the Chion mountain, followed by cleaning, sweeping in common areas and bathrooms. At 10:30 to 4 p.m., it is resting and self-practice time. And at 4 p.m. to 7 p.m., it is collecting the offerings from the Jula Dhammasala to the storeroom, followed by tea break and personal wash-up. At 7 p.m. to midnight, it's a resting and self-practicing time. And finally, at 12 a.m. to 3:30 a.m., it's sleep time. And some monks may fast regularly for a day up to a week as an aid to their meditation. And we can see more and more lay people gathering to give alms with cheerful expressions this morning. Ajahn has taught the importance and value of being born as a human to come across the teachings of the Buddha. In an excerpt from Ajah's book called Against the Defilements, he explained this as follows. To be born as a human means that you already possess a lot of good merit. To come across Buddhism is in fact the highest form of merit. But the amount of benefit you may gain from it does vary. You could invest it to make a profit. You could also spend it on gambling, eating and drinking, and partying and going out. But we will all soon be gone. This is how it is with our lives. If you live just to indulge in sensual pleasures, the past merit that you accumulated will soon be gone. However, if you live to cultivate merit through meditation practice and listening to Dhamma talks, the amount of merit you own will increase. At this particular section of the Pindapata seems to be a great number of people stopping and giving the alms. With much faith and conviction. And it is also wonderful to see some of our foreign visitors or foreigners living in Thailand to come and give alms and have faith in Buddhism. Ajahn has thought further that we need to resort to Buddhism to make us aware that nothing belongs to us. Even our own physical bodies are not ours. One day, they too will return to the original elements of earth, water, wind, and fire. In the end, your body will disintegrate into earth, water, wind, and fire. But for now, you can still make use of it in two ways, worldly and Dhamma. If you're lucky enough to come across Buddhism, then you can make use of your body in a Dhamma way, liberating your mind and ending the endless cycle of rebirth and death. If you haven't come across Buddhism, then you'd only be able to make use of your body in a worldly way, which is seeking worldly pleasures through it. We move on as we continue to share Ajah's profound teachings. Buddhism is the most advanced knowledge. You can study all kinds of subjects, but these subjects cannot teach you how to live happily because they don't understand the working nature of the mind. Only the Buddha has truly understood the true working nature of the mind, how the mind can make you happy and how the mind can make you sad. No other knowledge or subject in this world teaches you how to treat this mind. Buddhism doesn't force you to do things. It doesn't force you to believe. It is just like a school that gives you information. It is up to you whether you want to use it or not. You can take it or leave it. Buddhism teaches the law of Kamma. What you do is what you'll get. The most important thing in our lives is to care for our minds. If we care for our minds, we will reap the result, the very result that the Buddha and his noble disciples reaped. The goal of Dhamma practice is to learn how to become a refuge for your own self. There is no refuge in this world that can be truly yours other than your own self, and the Dhamma that you've cultivated to be your own refuge. You should therefore dedicate your heart and soul to cultivating such Dhamma. The Buddha also taught about the higher kind of happiness, the happiness that you can have within yourself. You don't need to have money to make you happy. You don't need to have things to make you happy if you know how to meditate. When you meditate, your mind becomes calm and peaceful, and you will have another kind of happiness. This kind of happiness is better than any other kind because you don't have to rely on other things or other people to make you happy. Buddhism just tells you how to do good karma and how to prevent bad karma, but you are the one who has to decide whether you want to do it or not. There is nothing in this world as wholesome and invaluable as one's peace of mind. For peace of mind will bring you happiness, a kind that surpasses any other. It is a kind of happiness that lasts, one that endures in the heart, the ultimate happiness or paramang sukhang. It is not a kind of happiness that is anicang tukkhang anatta, which is impermanent, suffering, and non-self. Giving, keeping precepts, chanting, sitting in meditation, and cultivating wisdom through study are all means you can apply to resolve issues in your heart and mind. Morality is a valuable quality. It's something that you should reflect upon regularly. With reflection, your mind will be calm and at ease, especially when you think about the morality that is within yourself. It will make you feel proud of being a good person. Mental cultivation or meditation practice is to establish and maintain a state of happiness at all times, no matter what happens to your body. The purpose of mental cultivation through meditation practice is to train the mind to be with happiness, with emptiness. That is, so that there's no need to rely on anything else for happiness because the mind is already content in itself. To meditate, you first need to stop thinking, as your thoughts are the means of your craving. At this point, you will see the monks emptying their alms bowl, which has rice, onto a container because the alms bowl does become full up with rice and it is unable to take in all the amounts of the rice that can be offered on this alms round. So it gets transferred into a container and put onto the bus. All the feelings and emotions come from our own craving. Not having our wishes fulfilled will leave us angry and upset. To see that craving is what causes us to suffer is called wisdom. If you indulge and act on your craving, there will be no end to it. It will only keep on multiplying. When you meditate, you should sit for as long as possible. Meditation nourishes and invigorates the mind. It brings happiness to the mind. With state mindfulness as the cause, comes samadhi, concentration, as the result. To continually maintain mindfulness is of the utmost importance. To be mindful only while sitting in meditation is simply not enough. You have to remain mindful from the moment you awake until you fall asleep. It is like having mindfulness as a guardian who watches over you. The quotes and the teachings which were just shared were all from transcribed talks of Ajahn Suchart's Mountain Dhamma talks. They are compiled into books and they're all available for download at pastorsuchart.com. Listening to Dhamma is also one of the Punya Giriya Wattu 10. The Kruba Ajahns have taught that there are 5 benefits or rewards associating with listening to Dhamma. 1. One hears what one has not heard before. 2. One clarifies what one has heard before. 3. One gets rid of doubt. 4. One's views are made straight. And finally 5. One's mind grows serene. Ajahn Suchart gives Dhamma talk from 2 to 4 p.m. every day, Thailand time, at the Julat Dhamma Sala in Chion Mountain. This Mountain Dhamma talk is broadcast live on Facebook, YouTube, and radio online every day. The session is divided into 2 parts. Ajahn will give a Dhamma talk from 2 to 3 p.m., which is the first part. The second part is a question and answer session, which generally lasts from 3 to 3:45 p.m. The listening audience is able to send in questions for which the questions are read to and answered by Ajahn right away. The Mountain Dhamma talk reaches a wide variety of audience. Six provinces out of the 76 provinces in Thailand have tuned into listening and asking questions. And from overseas, we have audiences from 35 countries around the world. Our average viewing audience listening to Ajahn Dhamma talk is about 650 people on a daily basis. And for international viewers who are unable to tune into the live broadcast time to ask questions, you can send in your English questions to the website of pastorsuchart.com. The questions are then gathered and read to Ajahn for an English live broadcast once a month. Once the session is finished, it will be posted in Ajah's YouTube channel called Dhamma in English. So please be encouraged to take the opportunity to send in your questions. The walk is now about 2/3 of the way through. As the walk continues along this village road, you may have noticed that Ajahn gives out milk drinks to children who come out and give alms in the morning. The children become very happy, motivated, and eager to come out and give alms with their families. It is a natural way of habit building, a way to inspire and motivate these young children. We have actually spoken to a family with a young daughter who's been living in this Banampur village all their lives. This little girl has given alms almost every day here. She started when she was 3 years old, and now she's 16 years old young lady and still giving alms every morning. Throughout the years, her mother has explained how her daughter developed this habit of giving every day. Her daughter would come on some occasions to go with her mother to listen to Tanajan's teachings. It became easier for her mother to teach her about morality and keeping the precepts. This has all been a natural progression of learning and making this become an important part of her daughter's life. And she felt very grateful. Tanajan will also sometimes ask English questions to the children, engaging them to be interested while they have a chance to practice speaking English sentences. We have just passed the fresh market, and now the Pindapata walk started at Najam 10:30, and we are coming near to the fresh market, just past the fresh market of the village. And we are emerging at the end of Soy Najam 28, where the monks will walk up towards the Banampo three-way intersection, which is where the Pindapata will end. There will be more people gathering at this last point to make their offerings before Tanajan gets on the bus to return to the temple. And it is a beautiful morning here in Najam Tien as we are approaching the last leg of the Pindapata walk. There are still lay people of faith and conviction who are still lining up to make alms. And as we are approaching the part of this walk, we would like to share some of the final profound thoughts of Tanajan's teachings on Buddhism. The peace of mind that comes from not craving is the real happiness. The presence is where you will find peace. You won't find it in the past or in the future. A calm mind needs to remain in the present. Keep reminding yourself, where there's a will, there is a way. Difficult or easy, quick or slow is not a concern. The only concern is whether or not you make an effort. If there's no sustained effort, no matter how easy or your practice may be, no matter how quickly you can master it, you will not succeed without a continual practice. May you all have faith and confidence in the teachings of the Buddha and his noble disciples. Put them into practice at your own pace, according to your conviction and wisdom. Don't be discouraged. Don't compare yourself to others. Just keep doing whatever you can. Other people's progress doesn't concern you. And finally, if you want to live peacefully in this world and rest in peace when you die, try and practice to let go. Do not grasp or cling onto anything in this world. All the teachings that have been shared throughout this talk are all available for download at suchart.com. And you can see young children still giving alms, coming out with their parents on this Sunday morning.
น่าจะพอ
And After this, the monks will return to Wat Yan, and there will be more lay people waiting at the temple to even make more offerings at the dining sala.
เขาเร็วๆที่หน้าตาส่งให้
And you can see the little boy receiving a milk drink from Ajahn. And as more people continue to make their offerings this morning, we are broadcasting live from Na Jom Tien 28, which is the Banampur three-way intersection, where the Pindapata of Ajahn Suchart, Abhijato, and the Sangha of Wat Yansangwararam will be ending here. But there are still quite a number of people waiting at the intersection to make their offerings. We hope that this has been a useful information for our audience this morning, and especially for those who are interested to come to offer alms, as well as tuning into Ajah's daily Dhamma talk. These activities are happening every day. Our next Pindapata live broadcast will be on the 16th of June. This will be a Thai broadcast on the Asaraha Busha Day. And there are still more people lining up.
โทษนะครับ
It is a little bit busy at this intersection as people are trying to catch the opportunity to give alms to Ajahn before Ajahn gets on the bus to return to the temple. More people continue to give offerings, young children, and more families are gathered here to make this merit this morning. And this is how they learn to the act of giving and to share, which is a very important virtue to start at this age. And you can see the lady who is giving alms with the most respectful and revering manner, and that is considered to be one of the Punya Kiriya Watu 10, as we talked earlier. On behalf of the live broadcast team, we would like to thank you very much for joining us this morning. If you have any questions or comments, please do send them in during the live broadcast time or to Ajahn Suchart's website. Please still stay with us for a few minutes longer because Ajahn is going to give us all a blessing.
ทางนู้นเลยไป
At this last part of the intersection, people are sitting down to pay their respects and to have the chance to pay Ajahn their respect before he gets on the bus to return to the temple. If you stay with us for a few minutes, a little bit longer, Ajahn will give us all a blessing in English.
English ครับ
May you all be well and happy and advance to the path of enlightenment.